The thumb around to air is an aerial trick in pen spinning that requires knowledge how to do the thumb around and also how to use a little bit of your arm motion. The thumb around to air looks like this. To start, you're going to need to know how to do a thumb around, which is that. And you also have to know how to hit the pen to make it, spin in the air. First, start with a regular thumb around push, except instead of catching it or clamping down on it, you want to kind of let the pen roll down this way and then use your index finger and hit up. What that does, that sends the pen spinning this way. And then when you catch it, there is no definite or no set in stone position to catch it, but I learned it as catch it in 1-2 like a V sign. So you catch it like that. You can also catch it, of course, in 2-3 or in 3-4 if your combo needs to have it there, like that. You can also push with various different fingers. You don't want to push with the middle finger precisely. It's rather hard to do it pushing with the index and then doing it that way because you have to hit it with the index both times to hit it forward and to push it back. It's not impossible, but it's much more difficult. Like that. But of course you can also push with the ring finger or the pinky finger, whatever. That's basically it, actually, surprisingly fast. It's easy concept, but it takes a lot of practice. The hardest part for me is obviously the catching. You kind of have to keep an eye on the pen, obviously, you got to look at it. When you hit it, make sure you try to hit in the middle, that way it spins flatly, and it doesn't, if you go like this, it's obviously going to go like that. Like if you hit it sideways, it's not going to do so good. But if you hit it in the middle, it makes the pen go up like almost straight, and so you know that if you put your fingers down, it'll close in. Also, a V sign is how I usually catch mine. Like that. It also takes practice. Obviously, the harder you push up, the harder you flick with your index finger to go up, obviously the higher it's going to go. The more force you put to do the thumb around action, obviously the more spins it does, like that. It's all about control, really. Don't just toss up as high as you can, because obviously that gives you almost no control, especially if you're new to learning this trick. So do it like that. What else can I think of? Do the thumb around, hit it, it'll turn, make a V sign, and then if it doesn't turn out perfect, the worst case scenario is, well, you don't catch it at all. Next worst would be that it lands like this, but since it's already spinning, it's just going to fall like that, and you just have to close in on it. If you get really good at it, I'm not saying I am, but you can just kind of snatch it out of there at any moment that you want. Of course, I can't really do that great, but I don't know, after a while, you just kind of get to know what time you can close your hand, close your fingers on the pen, and have it work. But you also have to have a very quick eye so you can coordinate, like, the pen's falling this way, my hand needs to be here, I need to have my hand maybe tilted a little bit so I can catch it, stuff like that. That's really it. Just be cautious. It doesn't take that much force to hit the pen up. As you probably know, because art has so much force going this way, it only takes a little bit to send it up. Like, you're not trying to aim for the highest TA to air. You're just trying to aim for one that, might float a foot or two above your hand. Of course, the higher it is, the more impressive it's going to be when you catch it. But obviously, that leaves more room for error, as it's harder to catch sometimes. So yeah, that's basically it. keep in mind that you have to know the thumb around really well. You should know how to do it rather slow, moderate speed, and rather fast too, because if you want to get more advanced, maybe you want less spins, maybe you only want like maybe one spin, you can control it that way. If you want like 10 spins or whatever, you can do it that way. Of course, I'm not saying either is right. The thumb around to air is not actually in the UPSB wiki, as I usually refer you to it. You can probably find more tutorials. If you must know, I got this off of Bunkura's video, his aerial tricks video. So I'm just kind of sharing it for those of you who, still might not get it or whatever. That's basically it. A heavier pen would do nicely, seeing as that it has more momentum, and since a heavier pen mod usually has more weight, obviously, it's kind of easier to keep an eye out on it and try to see how many spins you're doing and where to position it. A lighter mod, such as a Victory, even though this is one itself, it has a lot of weight into it because, secret behind this, I have added a metal nut at each end, so that creates an extra amount of weight that makes it easier to spin with more momentum. So a heavier pen would be ideal to practice this. However, keep in mind, if you hit yourself on the hand while trying to catch it, it does hurt a little bit. This one doesn't because the plastic barrel doesn't really hurt, but if you spin other pens, like an MX or something, where the barrel's plastic, it kind of hurts. So, I don't know, maybe a heavier plastic, like softer plastic pen would do, maybe like a Kamsa or a KT or something. Just don't stab yourself with that one. So yeah, basically, I mean, like always, you can use with any other pen mod, like for example my MX. Obviously, I can do that, the TA to air still. It's just control. That's the main key to this trick. So again, to review, thumb around, but instead of catching it, let it roll down the thumb flap, and then hit it. There is no point at which to hit it. However, I will tell you from experience that the closer it is to the tip of the pen, since your finger kind of curves down like that, there's more chance that it'll fly off somewhere that you don't want to. So you kind of want to hit it within, the first half of your index finger, and then just kind of catch it. Yeah, it's just kind of like a scissor motion, like that. And of course, like again, you can always catch it in any slot you want. It just takes a little bit of practice. Seeing as that I learned this trick by catching it in slot 1, 2, it's a little more difficult for me to catch in slot 2, 3, but it's still as possible as you just saw. And of course, 3, 4, you can also of course catch it in the thumb flap area. So again, just keep practicing. If there are any more questions, feel free to comment or visit upsb.info.